Details surrounding a suspicious weekend death remain sketchy. However, many are suspecting foul play in the death of Josiah Robinson, also known as Jonty, whose lifeless body was discovered Sunday afternoon in the BBC Beach area. Multiple sources told GBN that several wounds were visible on the body of the deceased, who was an aspiring artist, model, and an openly gay man. Jonty's death came hours after he allegedly participated in an inaugural Pride event held in St. George's on Saturday as part of Pride Month. Pride Month recognizes the diversity of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning LGBTQ+ communities and commemorates the Stonewall Uprising, a fateful day in 1969 when LGBTQ+ people fought back against police mistreatment and discrimination. Jonty is said to have been employed at a popular restaurant in Grand Anse prior to his death. He was the eldest of his mother's 2 children. GBN reached out to grieving family members, including Jonty's mother, who was too distraught to comment on her son's untimely demise. However, it is understood that the family is planning a candlelight vigil tomorrow in front of the Plywood restaurant on BBC Beach in the area where the body was recovered on Sunday. Jonty was a close friend of Yvette Noel Shaw, one of American singer Beyoncé's most trusted advisors and publicists. She recalled her first encounter with Jonty in a GBN interview on Monday.
I think he was about 17 when I met him. But I just loved, I didn't know that he wanted to be a singer when I first met him. It was more just a kid finding himself, finding his voice. And I loved that. And I love how bold he was. And then he started doing some modeling. And then towards the end, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, he did the album. I was very happy with where he was going. And, you know, we just formed we formed a nice circle of young creatives on the island that I love talking to.
She says Jonty's death is a loss for Grenada's creative industry.
Was an innate creative. Music, art, dance, modeling, a film. He had done a film that ended up, you know, as an award-winning, critically acclaimed film. He was special. He was very special. And I called him, I teased him as my bonus son. I have one son. A beautiful light just went out. And I'm broken. I'm broken. I'm broken.
Mrs. Noel Shaw is hopeful that Jonty's grieving family will get the answers they now desperately seek following his untimely death.
I pray that his death, which was sudden, is investigated. And I certainly hope that his mom gets all the answers she's looking for. And I hope in time that all of us who loved Jonty would only remember the good times. You know, as I was preparing my post about him, I was laughing and crying and snot coming out of my nose and my tears coming out of my eyes because I was just looking at all of the fun I've had with him.
Meanwhile, police have confirmed that investigations are continuing and an autopsy has been scheduled to determine the actual cause of death. Additional information has not been forthcoming up to the time of this newscast. GBN will continue to follow this developing story and bring you details in a later newscast. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.